I am joined now by Mehlam Murtaza. He's Executive Director of UNS Farms.
We grow primarily 4 types of crops, all in the leafy category, so to speak. We do salads, we do herbs, we do edible flowers, and we also do a few kinds of vegetables.
Here in the UAE, food is actually one of our most significant imports. And with global shipping routes coming under pressure and tariffs on agricultural goods really fluctuating quite wildly across the market, that dependency is, it's not really making things look risky, but it's making things sort of come to the fore. It's just making us a little bit more aware, perhaps, or it should make us a little bit more aware, perhaps, of where our food is coming from. Now, the UAE actually introduced a national food security strategy back in November 2018, and a key component of that was enhancing local food production. But that is easier said than done. After all, we are a desert company, and as you noticed, particularly over the weekend, it does get quite hot here. But one company that I'm joined by now in the studio thinks that it has one of the answers. I am joined now by Mehlam Murtaza. He's Executive Director of UNS Farms. Is that right, or is it UNS Farms, Mehlam? How do you say it?
Well, actually, you hit the nail on the head.
It's UNS.
It's UNS Vertical Farm.
UNS.
Yeah. So UNS actually stems from an Arabic word called anasat, basically meaning from the heart, or grown with love, you can say.
Okay, so tell me about your vertical farm. How does that work? What does it look like? Let me visualize it.
So in a very, very layman kind of way, vertical farming is growing 3D instead of the traditional farming, which is 2D. So we stack our crops on racking using artificial lighting, 100% environmental controls such as AC or humidity controls, and we basically control all aspects of the growing climate and let the plant grow naturally in that sense. It's kind of an inverse, you can say.
It sort of sounds expensive. Just because you've got to do, you're creating a climate indoors and it's hot outside.
It is. Yeah, so definitely if you talk about doing a lot of artificial lighting with LEDs, cooling, it does sound very, very expensive on the offset. But if you compare it to the existing kind of high-tech farms or existing farms over here, the cost in summer sort of almost equals out, because we actually save a lot due to insulation in terms of cooling, which is the most expensive component of powering the farm, which is offset because we use sort of a lot of techniques to insulate the climate as best as possible.
How about water? So there's light, there's the temperature, and then there's water. How do you control how much water you use in these circumstances?
So the big question on water consumption is actually based on 2 factors. Number 1 is how much the plant consumes as a use case, and then you see a big factor, which is the wastage, which goes through evaporation or overflow or things as such. We actually save 95% of water compared to existing farms. That's just because our environment is so well suited to and engineered to save as much water as possible.
Okay, so far so good. What are you actually growing?
So we grow primarily 4 types of crops, all in the leafy category, so to speak. We do salads, we do herbs, we do edible flowers, and we also do a few kinds of vegetables in the farm.
Oh, what type of vegetables are you doing?
So at the moment, we are not going commercial with it, but we are experimenting with a few varieties of capsicums, tomatoes, and some fruits as well, such as strawberries.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, just there you talk about experimenting. This is still cutting edge technology, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
And so how big is your farm? Are you doing this at scale, or are we still at sort of pilot projects?
So we are actually one of the first commercial vertical farms in the GCC region.
Oh, you've gone commercial already?
Definitely. So we've actually been growing since 2019, and you can find our product in all kinds of kind of channels, such as the supermarkets, such as hotels and restaurants as well. So in terms of size, you can say we are probably top 10 in the world.
Really?
Correct.
Wow. And where's the factory? Where's the farm?
So we're actually located just 15 minutes from here in Al Quoz.
Are you?
In the center of the city, yeah.
So you're literally an inner city farm. That sounds extraordinary in many ways.
Yeah. As far as urban farming goes, you can't get more urban than
can't
us.
get much more urban. Okay, so at the moment the UAE still imports about 85 to 90% of its food.
Sure, yeah.
Big picture stuff. To what extent can these local vertical farms like yours actually reduce that dependency?
So in terms of the category of crops that we do, as I mentioned, we actually, in terms of microgreens and edible flowers, service the entire UAE market, and in fact, we even export to other GCC countries. So in terms of our category of products, such as the leafies, I would say we're actually very well placed compared to imports from other nations. And again, it's not a silver bullet. In terms of our category, we are extremely strong, and the only reason why we have been successful over the past years is because we are competitive economically speaking.
I mean, I suppose the only problem is that man cannot survive on leafy greens and edible flowers alone. Yeah. But certainly you could stay healthy as a consequence of eating those leafy greens. Where can we buy your products, and are they cheaper than imports? Is your salad going to be cheaper than Spanish salad?
In terms of retail, we're actually available in all major supermarkets. You can say Spinneys, Kipsons.
I've probably
Noon.
eaten it already then.
Possibly. And as well as in plenty of restaurants and hotels. So 9 out of 10 times it's most likely our product on the plate.
And is it cheaper or is it equal price with a less carbon footprint?
So in terms of comparative imports, we're around 20 to 30% cheaper.
Okay. Really? That's great. Okay, so final question, and I haven't got very long with you. I'm being naughty. I'm already late for the news. But as far as what you do, what's your vision for the future? Can you... is it easy? Is what you do easy enough and scalable enough for there to be, vertical farms in every neighborhood, for example?
Well, in terms of our product category, frankly speaking, it's already a saturated field. But what we actually build our company on is three primary pillars. Number one is the farm production and processing and sale. So we have our vertical farm. We also have other farms, more traditional farms, such as greenhouses, which are growing different kind of crops. The more commodity crops like your tomatoes, capsicums, cucumbers. We also do farm development. So we have already done a number of projects where there are interested parties who want to build a farm for their own internal consumption, maybe for a PR perspective, and we also do it for them. And then we also participate in a bit of contract farming and trading. So there are plenty of farms in the UAE, but not necessarily they have the expertise or the knowledge to know what to grow, who to grow it for, and where to sell it. So we cover these three kind of perspectives.
It's very
as a complete, as a more holistic kind of company.
Really interesting to hear about how that sort of ag tech sector is developing right here
it's very exciting.
In the UAE. Yeah. It is very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio to tell us more about it. Really interesting, particularly in this context of the trade wars that are going on at the moment. Mehlam Murtaza, Executive Director of UNS Vertical Farms. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Thank you.
Your ARN News.